What about outside support coming from the community, such as the neighborhood council? Is it you that's part of the neighborhood council?
I'm actually the educational representative for the Granada Hills North Neighborhood Council.
Okay.
And actually, we were one of the first ones to pass a resolution, decrying what they were suggesting and writing to all the board members. I believe up to now about 10 different neighborhood councils have followed suit, and we're trying to get all 99 of them to let the school board know what the community wants.
Yeah, so I'm sure a lot of people who are listening right now are quite alarmed by this. I mean, are you hopeful, and also Jose, I'd like you to weigh in on this, Jose Lara with Occupy LAUSD, that something can be done to save the program?
We're certainly hopeful, of course. Actually, my students, 60 of my students and I are heading today to the school board meeting to at least let them see what we look like, or I think they figure, like, especially with older adults, they can just push them aside and there won't be any noise. But my students make a lot of noise, and we're going to make sure that if they're going to step on us, we're not going out quietly. And we want it. Thank you so much for letting us, come and.
Are you encouraging people to come down to this meeting? And when is this meeting taking place and
today.
where?
It's 1 o'clock this afternoon at the Beaudry building. It's 333 South Beaudry in downtown Los Angeles. And the next meeting after this one, if they're not available today, would be on May 8th. These are just the normal once-a-month board meetings. But anybody can go to them, and anyone can sign up to speak. So.
Right, and Jose, I know you're anxious to talk about this recall election you're involved in. What does this have to do with saving adult education?
Really? Absolutely.
Yeah.
I agree.
You agree with that, and of course we will need to be in touch with Monica Garcia to hear her side of the story here. But there are also some, I mean, I totally agree on the threat of privatization and the threat to public education. My daughter went through LAUSD public education. I taught in the system, the adult ed system, very valuable system, and the attempt to rip people off, with these private school scams is really outrageous. Steve, you wanted to weigh in?
That's why Superintendent Daisy, I believe it's pronounced, was brought in. He's from that Eli Broad School of Management kind of thing. Yeah. That's what they're trying to do, is privatize the schools. They're happy when they get charter schools. That's because they're non-union. There's so much union breaking going on right now. It's really disheartening.
Yeah, and how do you, Steve, address the issue of accountability on the part of teachers, of people who, may go along with the whole concept of privatization simply because they feel that some way, somehow, students are getting a better deal or a better education.
Well, there's no question that the charter school system has flourished because students are not being treated the correct way in the public school system. And for some of the charter schools, that it's been a success. There's no question. But then some people are using that success on a small scale to say, let's just do away with the whole system and do it large scale. And I'm not sure if that's.
And they're sort of select, aren't they, in the charter schools, Jose, in terms of who they take in and that sort of thing, and that then impacts the outcome, Jose Lara?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Now, what about how, getting back to you, Steve, the district decides where cuts are going to go? I mean, how is that decision
throw it all in a basket and throw it up in the air and see what falls. It doesn't seem to be any sense to it.
And there's some legislation that's trying to deal with this?
Of course, it's kind of a crazy thing. The governor has his, sales tax initiative. I believe the school board and the superintendent are trying to put a parcel tax on. We all know that these days none of those things are going to pass. We're all struggling to do as it is. Also, I think they have a bad accountability in the past. This public's been very supportive of schools and initiatives for growing or building schools, other things, and yet what do we see but that they mismanage the money that we do give them? I don't think people are trustful anymore to let the school district have more money to use poorly.
Yeah, and Jose, I mean, a lot is being said these days about how teachers are being disrespected, and that is absolutely true. Teachers so much, under attack. But what's hidden underneath that is the attack happening on students. Because if you're attacking teachers, you're also really attacking students as though they really don't count, as though they really don't matter either. Jose Lara.
And what can people do? They can write to the school board. You can call them. You can email them. They do keep a tally of all those things, and it's one way that everybody can at least speak up.
That's something all of our listeners can do. And finally, we're just about out of time, but Jose, I wanted to give you the chance to talk about AB 18, which is a bill, I understand, by Brownlee, Assemblywoman Brownlee. So what can you tell us about that?
Absolutely. Well, as you say, Jose, if it happens here in LA, that it becomes the model for not only the state but the nation.
Yeah. Where is that going to be, Jose? Yeah, and Jose, for people who want to get in touch with your group, what should they do?
.org, .org actually.
SaveAdultEd.org. Okay. So that's where, even for people who may or may not want to get involved in the Monica Garcia recall, but who do want to save adult education, they should go to SaveAdultEd.org.
Yes, and that's put up by the UTLA. The union put up that website, and it's got a lot of good information for a place to start if you're looking.
Right. Well, please continue to keep us posted on this. Steve Steinberg, tenured adult ed teacher, Kennedy, San Fernando Community Adult School. Give a shout out to all of those students, and Jose Lara, who teaches at Santee High School.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you both. Okay, we're going to take a very short break, and then coming up, the Egyptian presidency. Omar Suleiman, who is considered to be, called by many to be the